Before we get started, I wanted to tell you a bit about geodes. What are geodes? They may look like a regular rock, but when you open up on the inside, they're actually full of crystals. A lot of geodes begin as bubbles in volcanic rock. The outside of the rock is porous, meaning there's lots of holes, which allow water to seep into the rock. The water eventually drains out, but it leaves minerals inside. These minerals slowly form crystals on the inside. That's why the outside might look like a regular rock, but inside there are beautiful crystals. Today we will be growing our own crystals in a jar.
Hi, my name is Indigo, and I'm going to help my mom to do this experiment.
For this experiment, we'll be using borax, which comes in this really large box, and you can find it in the detergent aisle, a couple of pipe cleaners.
In addition to borax and pipe cleaners, you will also need a jar that you don't mind throwing away, thread or string, and a chopstick or pencil.
So we're going to take a couple of pipe cleaners and I'm going to twist these two together so I can get a really, really long pipe cleaner. And I'm going to turn it all around. And basically we're going to be creating what's called an armature. An armature is something that our crystal can grow on. And we want to kind of twist and turn. If you want, you can kind of make it into a cylinder shape. We can make it, the important thing is that the wire touches all together because they need to be fairly close. You can't have something that's like super far apart. So I'm going to twist and twist, and basically, you see how tightly that's wound together? This would be pretty good. But this gap, not so great. So I'm going to stick them closer together.
So we are going to tie some thread around this pipe cleaner and then attach it to a chopstick or pencil. And you'll see a picture of this a little later, but I forgot to take a video. So in this pot I have some water and I'm just going to get ready to boil it. It doesn't have to be colored, I just made it yellow so that it would be easier to see. I'm going to pour the borax in once it starts boiling. And it should probably be about 1 or 2 cups worth of borax. You're going to pour and then stir, and you'll notice that kind of disappears once you pour it in. So you just keep pouring and stirring until you have about 2 cups worth.
So you're going to pour your hot liquid with borax inside into a glass jar. Here I've used a round bowl, but if you don't have one, you could also use an old spaghetti jar. As long as it's glass and an adult helps you, you can use those containers.
Now I'm going to put the string inside the water, and you got to do it very slowly so it doesn't splash on you.
You want to make sure that your crystal doesn't touch the bottom, so you're going to roll the stick to make sure that your pipe cleaner doesn't sink. Here's a picture of the pipe cleaner when we first started. As you can see, it's not touching the bottom and it's just hanging out there. And we're going to wait a few hours to maybe overnight and see what happens. So after a few hours, you can see that there's a little bit of stuff growing on our pipe cleaners and some stuff on the bottom of the jar as well. Here it is maybe 6 hours later, and you can see that our pipe cleaners has gotten even bigger because there's crystals growing around them. And here's our final crystal. Wasn't that really cool? It's gotten really big and we can see all the crystals have grown on our pipe cleaner. So here's the crystal once I took it out of the jar and cut the string off. You can see how shiny it is and amazing. So how did this experiment work? Well, we stirred the borax into boiling water. This created a super saturated solution. The tiny borax molecules were in the water even though you couldn't see it. Crystals form when a supersaturated liquid that contains a dissolved mineral cools. When the water cooled down, the borax molecules looked for a place to land. It settled wherever it found a place to sink onto. In this case, it stuck onto the pipe cleaner and the bottom of the jar. Remember the geodes I talked about at the beginning? Well, water-containing minerals got stuck inside of the rocks. Even though the water went away, the minerals stayed behind and grew inside the rock, just like our crystals grew on the pipe cleaner.
Here are the different crystals that I made. I used different colored pipe cleaners, and this is a gold one. This was like a purple red one. This is green. These were ones where I used a pipe cleaner, but I didn't put them close enough together, so then they developed some holes. So you want to make sure that you keep your pipe cleaners very close together. And these ones I used extra borax. I think I used maybe 2 or 3 cups, so they resulted in bigger crystals. I hope you're really excited about this project, and good luck growing your crystals.